All right, we are going to get started. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining, and welcome to our Public Assistance Benefit Information session in English. And this is intended for individuals who may be eligible for these benefits. So again, we're so glad you could join us today. My name is Sue Parks. I'm the CEO of Orange County United Way. And in case you're not familiar with us, we offer programs to help improve educational outcomes, financial stability, secure housing, and provide better health for Orange County residents. We are all about helping people in Orange County. And we are so excited today to collaborate with the County of Orange Social Services Agency, which is the SSA, and to bring you this information on these public assistant benefits that you really need to know about. We're so grateful for our experts, Amber Nowak, Yolanda De Avila, and Kenny Rodriguez at SSA, and they've agreed to join us today and share about the many public assistance benefits that can help you and your family attain food, healthcare, employment, and so much more during these difficult times. Today, our speakers are going to talk about specific programs: CalWORKS, CalFresh, Medi-Cal, General Relief, and Emergency Child Care. They'll provide information on each of these programs, who is eligible, and hopefully how to debunk any rumors and any concerns about joining these programs, because there's so many people newly vulnerable with all that's going on, and we want to make sure these programs are used to the fullest extent. They'll also be sharing information on how to enroll. So our presenters are going to provide instructions on how to access the different benefits. I also want to mention that 211 Orange County, which is a hotline, they are available as a starting point for people seeking information. So it's a great number to know. 211 can connect you and refer to you services for any of your basic needs. So again, we're thrilled that you want to take time to learn about these important benefits. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our first presenter from SSA, Amber Nowak. Amber, take it away.
Thank you, Sue. Let me go ahead and see if I can get my video going. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So thank you very much for having me today. My name is Amber Nowak, and I am part of the Social Service Agency, and I work in Family Self-Sufficiency in the Policy and Quality Assurance team. And next, please. So we will go over my part right now, which is the CalWORKS benefits and just some basic information regarding social services. Next. And next. Thank you. So first of all, our vision at Social Services is really to make sure that we help create a community that is safe, supportive, and promotes self-sufficiency. And simply put, you can see what our mission and our vision is, but simply put, our mission is to deliver quality and responsive services that help Orange County residents. Especially during this time, we know how really important it is to have access and understand what benefits are available. And next. So at Social Services, under the leadership and guidance of the Orange County Board of Supervisors, we are the largest agency in the County of Orange with over 4,300 employees and about 20 office locations countywide. Our approved budget for fiscal year 2019-2020 was close to $920 million. And if you look at the sum of our programs, we serve over 1 in 4 residents. Of that, you can see located on the slide the breakdown by population segments. So 2 out of 5 children, 1 out of 5 adults, and 1 out of 6 seniors. And next, thank you. The CalWORKS program, which is the California Work Opportunity and Responsibility to Kids, which is also referred to as TANF, or the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, is a cash aid program for low-income families to help meet basic needs. It provides education, employment, and training programs to help families get jobs and move towards self-sufficiency. So that is our main goal, is we want everybody to be able to be self-sufficient. And these benefits are delivered monthly via electronic benefits transfer. And adults are eligible for 48 months, and children may receive cash aid until they turn 18. So even if the adult stops receiving cash aid and the child is still under the age of 18, they can still receive benefits on behalf of the child. And we do use every discretion to make sure that information is confidential. I know that a lot of people don't want employers to know or other people to know that they're on public assistance. So we don't disclose any information to anybody unless it's necessary, usually for either verifications or maybe between agencies, if Medi-Cal needs information, something like that. But other than that, we do take our our information that we have regarding our clients very seriously and maintain confidentiality. Next. So who is eligible for CalWORKS? There are some requirements, and residents, you must be a U.S. resident, a U.S. citizen or legal resident, and reside in California. Our property limits, so these just recently went up on June 1st. They were substantially lower, and now they've raised them to $10,000 for all households or $15,000 for households with a member age 60 or older. You do need to have a child in the home that is deprived of parental support or care because of absence of another parent, disability, underemployment, or death. Or be a needy caretaker relative of a foster child or children. And a resource coach can help anyone apply online at www.mybenefitscalwin.org. This is probably the best way to apply for benefits, especially right now. Most of our offices are closed. We are planning on reopening with limited hours, but I would say that the mybenefitscalwin.org is the best place to go. You can go on there and answer some very simple questions and find out right there if you're eligible for benefits. And just to give a little more information on that, income eligibility is based on what we call the assistance unit and eligible income. So the assistance unit can include a parent, spouse, children who are siblings or half siblings, step siblings to the applicant or recipient, and some are mandatory to be included and others are optional. So it's a really good idea that if you have any questions, you either go onto My Benefits CalWin or you call and speak with someone to see what your eligibility is depending on your household size. And we do always evaluate the children first and then the relationship of the other family members to the children to determine the assistance unit size. Some income that would be counted for CalWORKS includes, but is not limited to, disability, salary and wages, commissions, unemployment benefits, Social Security retirement or survivor's benefits, and child support. And there are several factors that are taken into account when determining the income. So again, it is best to have the staff calculate it or go on to My Benefits, and you can see if you're eligible by filling out that information. And just to add to that, undocumented individuals are not eligible for state or federally funded benefits. However, if there is a child that was born in the US, they may be eligible to receive benefits. So even if the adult is not eligible, the child may still be eligible if they were born in the US. And next, please. Okay, welfare to work program. So work registration requirements require that all adult recipients and children ages 16 to 18 who are not in school participate in our welfare to work program unless otherwise exempt. And it's really a great program because there are several supportive services that come along with the enrollment in this program. And again, they're all supportive services to help remove barriers to employment. So these can include childcare to help participate in approved welfare to work activities and obtain and or retain employment. You can receive mileage reimbursement or a bus pass. And we also have what we call ancillary funding. And this is available to participants for certain necessary expenses in order to help them participate and be successful in their welfare to work assignment or activities. So some of these examples might be clothing needed for work. You're able to purchase clothing so that you can go to work, maybe books for school or training, school fees that's not tuition, tools. So if you're, a plumber or an electrician and you need tools in order to participate in your work, you can be approved to buy those. And we also offer diaper payments for children under 36 months. In addition to this, we did have a question about homeless assistance, and so I wanted to put it in this area because homeless assistance is available to welfare to work participants through our CalWORKs program. And we have a couple different programs. We have our temporary homeless assistance, which can provide up to 16 consecutive days for shelter costs for CalWORKs welfare to work participants. And then we also have permanent homeless assistance. And there's two types of permanent homeless assistance. There's help to pay for costs of securing a new permanent residence if the assistance unit has no fixed or regular nighttime residence. And then there's also an issuance to prevent eviction. So if they've been given a notice of either a quit notice or non-payment of rent, then you may be eligible to this, which would help give you the money to pay that so that you would not be evicted from your residence. Okay, and next. So this is the emergency childcare flyer. This was done by Children's Home Society. Children's Home Society is another agency within the county. They provide a variety of services. They're the resource and referral. They provide subsidized childcare, and the state provided emergency childcare to all emergency and essential workers. And so this is just the flyer giving all of the eligibility requirements and who to contact. And then if we go to the next slide, this just gives some more information. So subsidized emergency childcare, like I mentioned before, is available to all essential and emergency workers. And this was done when COVID-19 hit. There was a need for, all of the people that are required to keep working to receive childcare services. And so this was put in place to help those families. The application process is through Children's Home Society, and this specific emergency childcare funding is paid through June 30th, so through the end of this month. It may be extended. We haven't received any word that it will be, So right now it is through June 30th. And you can visit the Children's Home Society homepage to apply for this funding. They also offer on their website a place where you can find and select a childcare provider. And the website is there. And then there's also in response to COVID-19, we developed what we call the Emergency Childcare Task Force. And so myself and a variety of different agencies throughout the county all came together because there was no one place for all these emergency and essential childcare workers to find childcare. They didn't really know where to go. They didn't know how to find childcare, and they needed it, right now. So this site, this google.com site, is another site that is a database that was developed specifically in response to COVID-19 of all open and available childcare providers in Orange County. And this database is updated every Friday so that it's current, it's got all of the most current information, and as providers continue to open, then this is updated with those providers and that information. There is another statewide database that is available that was just implemented a couple months ago, and it will show all providers throughout the state of California, and it includes a little bit more information. It includes the information on licensing, what the capacity is of the child care provider, and if there are open spots. And so that website is mychildcare.ca.gov. And again, you can put in your address and that will populate what childcare providers are open and if they have spots available. And then it'll give you the information on their availability and if they've had licensing issues, it will state it on there when their last licensing visit was. It gives a little bit more information. So that's a really good resource as well. And again, that website is mychildcare.ca.gov. And I also wanted to mention that in addition to emergency childcare that's offered right now, for those who do not fit the criteria for emergency childcare, there still is subsidized childcare that may be available to those who qualify based on income and family size. And so basically the requirements are that you are working, going to school, looking for work. There may be a few other needs that are evaluated. And this is childcare for ages 0 to 12. And again, this is through Children's Home Society. It's for the general public and anybody can apply. And it's based on income and family size and the availability of funding, obviously. So that is another option for families if you don't want to apply for the emergency childcare and you just want to apply for regular subsidized childcare. That's another option. And it is the parent's choice to select the provider that best fits their needs. So that could be a licensed center, such as like KinderCare, maybe a licensed home, or a family friend and neighbor. And again, it is the parent's choice. The agency does not select the child care provider or tell you who you have to go to. It's definitely up to the parent. And you can contact Children's Home Society to find out more about the general subsidized child care, the emergency child care. Their website has a lot of information. And you can also apply for the subsidized child care on their website. And there's a little tab when you go to their website that says apply for child care assistance. And that's just for the general subsidized child care. And I think that is pretty much it for me. And next up would be Yolanda. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Amber, would you, oh, there she is. Good morning. My name is Yolanda de Avila. Thank you, Amber. So I'll be going over the General Relief, and here's some background. General Relief is cash assistance program funded by County of Orange. State law provides basic guidelines for the program, but each county, so it's very important to remember that each county is allowed to develop their own eligibility standards and requirements, which are approved, in this case for the County of Orange, by the Board of Supervisors. So again, each county is allowed to develop their own eligibility standards and requirements. Moving on, this program provides temporary cash aid to eligible indigent adults with no minor children. So the program that Amber just finished sharing with everybody is CalWorks, and that is meant for families, whereas General Relief is meant for adults without children, with no minor children. It is considered a loan and must be repaid. The condition is that you must be a U.S. citizen or a legal immigrant who resides in Orange County. Next. The eligibility determination is made by an eligibility technician. This is for legal immigrants. Illegal immigrants may receive benefits only when they do not qualify for federal or state-funded cash programs, such as SSI, CAPI. So again, it's meant for individuals, adults with no minor children who have no other resources. And all people must meet income and property guidelines. Someone asked, what is the application process? Well, the application process consists of basic information. We need to know the eligibility factors that are listed. We need to know the income, liquid assets, resources, bank accounts, the economic unit composition, who lives in your household, what are your living arrangements, and where's your residency, how long have you resided in Orange County, the citizenship or legal status. And just to talk a little bit more about income, we had a question and someone asked so General Relief's definition of income is any benefit in cash or in kind received by the GREU, the General Relief Economic Unit, including but not limited to work or business activities, ownership in real property, a contribution from individuals or organizations, pensions, retirement, interest, or dividends in real or personal property. And if you want more information, please, we welcome everybody to apply. We'll have more information in the next slide. General Relief has two categories. So we have to assess the status of an individual. So individuals who are physically or mentally capable of working are listed as employable individuals, and the General Relief benefits are limited to 90 days in a 12-month period. Employable individuals must register with our General Relief work program and cooperate with all of the requirements. The other category are individuals who are unable to participate in our General Relief work program due to a mental and or physical disability that is permanent or expected to last for 12 months or longer. They may be referred to our partner, currently is a public consulting group through the SSI advocacy program. They will provide assistance to complete the SSI application and submit all of the requirements to Social Security Administration in an attempt to try to obtain that eligibility through SSI. Next. And as a result of the COVID-19 virus, we're taking extra precautions for the protection of our clients and staff. Effective immediately until further notice, the county offices in Social Services Agency, they're closed to the public. They are planning to reopen them in the near future. When that occurs, there'll obviously be a process for our public to follow. The information will be available. And at this time, however, to apply for General Relief or to review case information, request replacement benefit cards, or submit verifications, we ask that you use www.mybenefitscalwin.org. MyBenefitsCalWin is a method to submit applications, verifications, the individual or the applicant would have to agree to link the case information to their Benefits CalWIN account, which will then facilitate the communication or even sharing of documents, verification requests, or verifications in general. It can also provide a method to obtain electronic signatures on any mandatory forms. So please, we ask that our CBOs they explore this option with customers, that they walk them through it, that they explain mybenefitscalwin.org as a method of easily communicating with the county to submit and or receive information. The other option is they can definitely call our service center 800 number 281-9799. However, they have to then still comply with the verifications, which is why we are encouraging the use of My Benefits CalWIN at this time. For general relief, individuals can also fax their application to 714-825-3155. And again, basic information to submit an application for, regardless of your status, is just all of the eligibility factors that we've reviewed. And that is it. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'll be going over Medi-Cal as well as CalFresh in the next few minutes. My name is Kenny Rodriguez from Social Services Agency. So for Medi-Cal, what are the basics of Medi-Cal? What is it? Well, Medi-Cal is California's Medicaid healthcare program, and it essentially allows or makes available to individuals and families who meet certain citizenship and immigration status and income requirements eligibility to Medi-Cal. And there's a lot of a variety of services that are offered through Medi-Cal benefits should you be found eligible to the program, including, of course, medical services, dental, prescription drugs, as well as vision. And a lot of what is driving eligibility, or part of what is driving eligibility to Medi-Cal, is income. So depending on the income that's reported, as well as the household size, your income, or I'm sorry, your Medi-Cal may be at no cost to you. You might have a premium, or you might have a share of cost. So again, these are driven partially by income and household size. So although you might have Medi-Cal, it could be at no cost again, premium or share of cost. And just let me take a moment to explain share of cost. It's very similar to a deductible. So it might be like a deductible that you have on your insurance payment. So before Medi-Cal, with a share of cost, before Medi-Cal begins to pay off any of your medical bills, you would first have to meet that share of cost, or quote unquote deductible. So for example, if you had a share of cost, let's say of $100, before Medi-Cal would pay any of your medical bills, you'd first have to pay that $100 out of pocket toward your medical expenses. That is just share of cost. But again, if your income is within certain limits, you might be eligible to Medi-Cal at no cost. Next, please. All right, so who is eligible to Medi-Cal? It's California residents within specified income limits who include children and adults, pregnant individuals, blind or disabled individuals, adults or children in a skilled nursing or intermediate care facility. Undocumented individuals may qualify, but the benefits for undocumented individuals are going to be restricted in a way, restricted to emergency and or pregnancy related Medi-Cal. Okay, and I should also mention though that children and young adults ages 0 to 25 can receive full scope Medi-Cal regardless of their immigration status, but it is focused on that age range for those children and adults regardless of immigration status, that age range of 0 to 25 years, as long as they meet all other eligibility requirements. So outside of that age range, it would be undocumented individuals that would only be restricted to emergency and or pregnancy-related Medi-Cal. Next, please. So how to apply? Very similar to the programs that Yolanda and Amber had discussed. MyBenefitsCalWIN.org is a great place, or it's the place to apply at this time. Our offices are currently closed as a result of the COVID situation that we find ourselves in. So MyBenefitsCalWIN provides the opportunity for families and individuals to apply for Medi-Cal. It also, as some of the previous presenters have mentioned, includes a tool called the Am I Eligible tool. So if you're not quite ready to apply, or you just want to see if your current situation that you find yourself in as far as your household size and the income that might be true for your household, if you'd like to get a sense of whether you'd be eligible to a particular program, in this case Medi-Cal, you can go to mybenefitscalwin.org and either just apply outright or try the Am I Eligible tool to get a sense, a general idea if you'd be eligible to Medi-Cal at this time. In addition to applying online, you can also go to, you can also provide a Medi-Cal application via fax at that phone number provided there, 714-645-3489, and we'd be glad to receive that and process that for you. You can obtain a Medi-Cal application by calling our Social Services Agency call center at that number there, 1-800-281-9799. A call center representative will provide you, if you provide your address, they'd be glad to mail you an application, which you can then provide by fax if you would like. Now, in order for us to meet the need of the public at this time, we have temporarily extended our hours until further notice. So these hours may change, but for now, they have been extended. So currently, our hours of operation for our call center are Monday through Friday, 6:30 in the morning to 8 p.m. at night. And we're also open Saturdays at this time, temporarily as part of these extended hours, open on Saturday from 7 in the morning to 4:30 in the afternoon. So again, really want to encourage you, visit mybenefitscalwin.org to get more information regarding Medi-Cal and also apply online and even use that Am I Eligible tool to get a general idea where you are eligibility-wise for Medi-Cal. Next, please. Now, Covered California. Covered California is the, it's a website from the state set up that allows individuals and families to apply for health insurance offered through the Affordable Care Act, including Medi-Cal. Now, why we want to mention Medi-Cal is if you go on the website and you go onto the exchange and you enter all the information regarding your household, including your household size and the income, if the income that you are reporting is within Medi-Cal income limits, that information is going to be sent to the County of Orange electronically and will evaluate you for Medi-Cal. If you're outside those limits and you want to purchase health insurance through that exchange, you can certainly do that and go through the Covered California website to make that purchase through their healthcare exchange. But if you're within those income limits for Medi-Cal, the County of Orange will be processing that application. So for the Covered California Healthcare Exchange, they do have an open enrollment period. So they have a very specific time within the year that you can go in and purchase insurance or make changes to your existing healthcare insurance that you've purchased through the Covered California website. Outside of that, there has to be a qualifying life event in order for you to enroll outside of that open enrollment period. So those could include a marriage, if you have to get married outside of that open enrollment period. Perhaps you had a child, perhaps you got divorced, you lost your job, and of course you lost your insurance along with that job. Perhaps there's a COVID-19 related change that has happened outside of that open enrollment period. So those would be qualifying life events that would allow you to enroll into an insurance plan through that healthcare exchange on Covered California outside of that open enrollment period. And I just, as a reminder, Medi-Cal, even though, you know, perhaps the income that you report through that exchange, through Covered California, it results in us, the County of Orange, receiving your application. Medi-Cal enrollment is actually all year long. So Medi-Cal does not have a specific or limited open enrollment period. We're accepting Medi-Cal applications all year long. So very important to note that. Next, please. Okay, CalFresh. What is CalFresh? Well, most of us, I think, are familiar with CalFresh, and we might even know it as food stamps. But the new name for this program is CalFresh. It's the state and federal nutrition program that helps eligible, low-income people purchase the food they need for good health. If approved, you receive your benefits for CalFresh on an electronic benefits transfer card, or EBT card. And you can use it at local grocery stores to purchase food. You could use it at farmers markets, and even at some restaurants. You could make purchases of hot food, prepared meals at some restaurants as part of the restaurant meals program, which I'll talk about in a few moments. But the great thing about this electronic benefits card is that it works so similar to a normal debit card. It'll have a PIN number associated with it that you enter at a farmer's market or a grocery store or restaurant. So it does have some discretion along with it, so it allows you to complete that transaction with a little bit of discretion, and it's so similar to a debit card, very easy to use. Next, please. Now, what about eligibility for CalFresh? Who is eligible to this program? Well, you must be a resident of Orange County, must be a citizen or eligible non-citizen. Eligible non-citizens could be some refugees, some people claiming asylum. There's a list of people that are not citizens that might be eligible to CalFresh. Generally, you must be a citizen, must report all household members, including income and property owned. A lot of the eligibility for CalFresh is driven by income, property owned, also who's in the household, right? Because we need to know who's in the household, who's purchasing and preparing food together. All those are driving eligibility for the CalFresh program. Those similar items are also helping us to determine the amount of CalFresh benefit that you'd be eligible to each month. The property income and income limits, are going to vary depending on the number of persons in your household and the ages of those people living in your household. Generally, the income of the people that are purchasing and preparing food will be counted. As far as personal vehicles, they're not included in determining CalFresh eligibility. So very important to know. And we had some questions regarding SSI and SSP recipients. That's a supplemental security income and supplementary payments from the state. So fortunately, as of June of last year, June 1st, 2019, CalFresh expanded eligibility to its program to those recipients of SSI, SSP. Before June 1st of 2019, if you had SSI, SSP, if you were receiving that benefit, you could not be eligible to CalFresh. So fortunately, all that changed June 1st of last year. SSI, SSP recipients may now be eligible to CalFresh. So great news for recipients of SSI, SSP. Next, please. Now, how to apply? Very similar to Medi-Cal and the previous programs. MyBenefitsCalWin.org is a great place to apply CalFresh. Additionally, there is one other website that you can apply or you can use to apply, and that's getcalfresh.org. MyBenefitsCalWin.org, of course, has that Am I Eligible tool that allows you to get a general idea based on your information, whether you're eligible to CalFresh. GetCalFresh.org is specific to CalFresh. So while MyBenefitsCalWin allows you to apply for different programs, including CalFresh and Medi-Cal, GetCalFresh.org is specific to the CalFresh program. Both are very effective. Both allow your application to be routed to the County of Orange and processed. It's really a matter of preference which website you would like to use. The GetCalFresh.org website is very similar to other apps that you might use and has a kind of a guided workflow and asks you certain questions throughout the process about what's true for your household, the household size, the type of income that you're providing. Both function to get your application for CalFresh to the County of Orange, but you have some options there. You can also apply by phone using our SSA call center at 1-800-281-9799. So that's both of those options provide an opportunity for you to route your application to the County of Orange. And also, similar to Medi-Cal, you can get your application to us via fax. using that phone number there, 714-645-3489. I also want to address some questions that we got regarding CalFresh and Medi-Cal and public charge. So the topic of public charge, which is some concerns regarding how receiving Medi-Cal or CalFresh might impact your process of finalizing your residency status if you're currently an undocumented citizen or you're in the process of finalizing that process. So we understand that there might be a concern or some question about that, and the best advice that we can give is to really consult a legal expert or an immigration attorney that can provide you a little bit more insight regarding your specific situation and how it might impact that process that you're currently going through. I also want to mention that an additional question that we got regarding CalFresh in regards to the best ways to apply. I've mentioned a few different options available to you, and it's really a matter of a preference, what's available to you, what you would like to do. The online options for both Medi-Cal and CalFresh are really excellent and allow you to get information regarding each program, and it'll provide some really helpful cues to guide you through each of the application processes to get you the answers that you need and give you every opportunity to report the information that's true for your household. I think that's about it for me regarding CalFresh. Do I have one more screen? Yes, I'm sorry about that. It's the restaurant meals program. I don't know how I could forget that. It's one of the, really one of the most exciting changes that we've had for CalFresh in a good while. This program was actually introduced February of 2018. The restaurant meals program allows elderly, disabled, or homeless CalFresh recipients to use CalFresh benefits to purchase prepared meals at participating restaurants by using their Golden State Advantage or the EBT card that I mentioned a moment ago. So you can go into a participating restaurant with your EBT card, buy a hot meal. Very exciting. We have over 200 restaurants that are currently participating throughout the county. And again, I have to just provide a reminder that this is a program that is available to CalFresh recipients that are elderly, disabled, or homeless. You don't have to be all three, just one of those three categories, elderly, disabled, or homeless, and on CalFresh to be able to use this program. The great thing about the Restaurant Meals program is that just by getting CalFresh and by being in one of those categories, there's nothing extra that you have to do. Your EBT card is already updated, it's ready to use. You can walk into a participating restaurant and use that EBT card to make a purchase, just like you would go into a supermarket and buy groceries. So the purpose of the program really is to expand food access to qualifying CalFresh recipients who have some barriers when it comes to having a place to store or cook food. Maybe they don't have, they're not able to prepare or cook food, or maybe they just have a lack of access to a grocery store. Those elderly, disabled, or homeless populations really are that target population that have those barriers. So it's really meant to serve that population and get them access to a hot meal using their EBT card. And again, as I mentioned, we have over 200 restaurants currently authorized to participate in this program. We've really tried to get a large variety of restaurants from Del Taco, Pizza Hut, Domino's, Waba Grill, El Pollo Loco. McDonald's has just come on board recently. There's also some non-franchise restaurants and standalone restaurants that are also providing this service. So we've got a lot of great partnerships with a lot of restaurants throughout Orange County, and we're really excited at the amount of diversity there is in the restaurants participating. If you want to see a list of the restaurants that are currently participating in the Restaurant Meals program, they're available on the County of Orange Social Services Agency website. We sorted them by city and provided cross-street information, so it's a little bit easier to locate these locations that are participating in the program. There's also a find a restaurant tool that allows you to plug in your zip code and your address, and it'll give you information regarding the closest restaurant participating in this program. And next, please. So My Benefits CalOne, I think all the presenters up to this point have mentioned that it's a website that allows you to apply for several different programs, including CalWORKS, CalFresh, Medi-Cal, General Relief. So it's really a one-stop shop for wanting to apply for any of these programs. We really encourage you at this time, use all the different, consider all the different options available to you to apply. MyBenefitsCalWin.org is definitely an excellent way to do that. It'll get your application for all these programs to us at the County of Orange and allow us to process that information and hopefully get you on your way to establishing your benefits as soon as possible. And next, please. Okay, questions. Additional questions. So I think we had some of those questions provided earlier. But if that's not all, if that's all, I think that's it for me for CalFresh and Medi-Cal. And I'll pass it on to our next presenter.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Brunielle Chimmer-Bias, and I am the Senior Director of Economic Opportunity at Orange County United Way. I'd like to thank Amber, Yolanda, and Kenny for providing so much useful information to help people in Orange County access all the resources they may need during this difficult time. And thanks to each of our presenters for clearing up some of the common misconceptions about these benefits. We certainly hope that today's presentation will encourage people who have never sought out these benefits, perhaps out of fear or uncertainty, to do so. Again, we're so appreciative of our presenters and many of their colleagues at SSA for collaborating with us on these sessions. It's been a real pleasure working with them, and we hope to collaborate again in the future. If anyone has follow-up questions about today's presentation, please contact the SSA COMM at ssa.ocgov.com or visit ssacogov.com. And if anyone is interested in learning more about Orange County United Way and the work that we're doing around improving quality of life in our communities, please check out our website at unitedwayoc.org. And lastly, again, if you need immediate assistance with basic needs, the 211 hotline is ready to connect and refer you to many services. So again, we thank you all for joining us today. A copy of this recording will be provided to you in registering for the session. And we want to thank again our SSA and expert presenters, and we hope you all have a great rest of your day.